Welcome, everyone. This is Divine Dialogues, Intuitives Unveiled. I am Tracey Bango from Angels on the Prairie.
And I'm Rhonda Sean with Divine Guidance with Rhonda, and we're members of the Angel Empowerment Wellness Center. In our podcast, we're going to be delving into topics such as intuition, angelic connections, and the spiritual realm.
We're also going to talk about our own personal experiences to help you understand your own intuitive abilities. Thanks for joining us.
And let's begin. Welcome to this week's episode. Today we're going to talk about what's the difference between a scarcity mindset and an abundant mindset. Now, a scarcity mindset is often based on lack of needs. It's often fear-based, where you just don't feel like everything is happening to you, almost mentality. And we focus more on the problem than the solution. Where an abundant mindset is you're focusing on solution and expansion and opportunity. So it kind of goes back to mindset and thinking. I have a great exercise. So if you grab a piece of paper, write down HOPENOWHERE.
Maybe repeat it for somebody again.
Okay. Okay. Tracey, I'm going to get you to do this exercise, actually. This will work.
Well, I was, but I lost.
Okay. That's okay.
Try.
So H. O. P. E. N. O. W. H. E. R. E. Now with those words, what words do you see? What sentence do you see in there?
Well, first I see hope now here.
Good. So that is an abundant mindset. Other people might read it as hope nowhere.
Oh, look at that.
And that's a scarcity mindset. So with that exercise, it kind of shows you where your brain and where your thought patterns are.
Cool. That's very cool.
So with the scarcity mindset it's almost like your tunnel vision where you can only see things and problems, where more problems bring on more something. And it's what I call the what if game. So it's like let's say taking a leap of faith, right? You want to start a business. So what's your first thought?
Can I afford it?
All right. So then you ask yourself, can you afford it? What's your next question from there?
Well, my next question would be where I want to do it. If I want to do it on my home, do I want to get like a place of business?
Right. So you're looking for opportunity and solutions. Where some people would be like, oh, it's going to cost me money, or oh, it's going to be some work, or why are people going to come to me? So you're starting going into the different rabbit holes.
I see. That's quite interesting.
Okay. So when we're doing stuff like that, we're actually preventing ourselves. And part of it, we kind of talked about it in a podcast about ego, because ego is designed to keep us safe. However, sometimes we need to push ourselves out of the box. And your brain going like, I don't like this, because our brain likes patterns.
Our brain likes to be safe.
Yes. So when we're trying new things, it's going to come up where it is going to be a natural thought. It's like, no, I can't do this. No. But when we learn, I always live by the motto, let's be comfortable with the uncomfortability. So,
yes.
Right? And so with that, That's where you want to start pinpointing things with you about scarcity. And once you again start recognizing the patterns, that it's like I'm always looking, and I don't want to say negative because that's all interpretation. But are you preventing yourself from moving forward because you're scared to move forward and your what ifs are always kind of holding you back, or providing opportunity for you?
Well, it's like so when, like, just to hear it asked, when you asked what was my first question, I said, do I have the money? And see, my next question to me would be, so I sit down, I make myself a plan, right?
Mm-hmm.
I make myself a schedule. I've got, like, I'm a budget, right? So it's where you go from the start. It's how, like Rhonda says, how you're gonna move forward. And are you going to move forward? So are you going to let yourself move forward? Or are you going to be always fighting yourself? Right?
Right. And that's where things come from when it comes to taking opportunities. Oh, this happened for me. And it's like, oh, everything is so negative, so negative, so negative. What are you going to do? So that's kind of where it's taking responsibility for your actions. Now, everything might happen, but like we'll use the pandemic as an example. Some people stayed in victim mode and saying they may have lost a job, they may be stuck inside. Other people also took that COVID or the pandemic and they made opportunity of it. They might have pivoted their business. They might have pushed their business online. They might have, instead of being isolated, I'm going to do Zoom or like, so it's just taking the opportunity of what's being presented to you. Now, I'll give you kind of a real life scenario that happened. So I was a manager at the theater, and it was the July long weekend. And we had another manager that forgot to go to the bank to get change for the weekend. And so the banks were closed Monday, or sorry, the bank, she was supposed to get it on a Friday. She didn't. And the bank was closed Saturday, Sunday, and Monday. And the long weekend's usually one of our busiest weekends. On top of it, it was a rainy weekend.
Oh, well, then that tells you you're going to be
Yeah.
busy.
Yeah. So it's like coming in as a manager, I could have been so focused on it's like, what do we need? I have no money for this. Like, so I could have kept getting angrier and angrier as to and blaming her. Why didn't she go? What, like, because she knew she had to go and she chose not to go. But I'm like, I knew that wasn't going to serve me. It wasn't going to serve my patrons and it wasn't going to serve my workers if I focused on the problem. I had to focus on the solution. So I thought, okay, what are we going to do? So I called upon the team. I'm like, team, help me out here. I need fives, I need quarters, I need things. And I'm like, okay, what is open that will have money? And I'm like, okay, well, I know I have some at home that I can switch out. I'm like, okay, that'll get me by for another day. And then I thought, you know what? I can go to the casino because they have money that they can exchange, they can flow, they can exchange out. So once I was open to the opportunity, is there are solutions. It's just being so open to it. And then that's calling in, I called in this case, I called in Archangel Samuel because he's the one that will find the vibrational matches for you.
Yeah, you're right.
You know,
Well,
That's-
like it's even, doing this kind of work, it's, like it's a matter of trusting and believing what messages you're given, or like, it's like scared of change, the same kind of process, right? So things that are for your, and I'm always about this, like for your greater good, even though you are super uncomfortable about it, but if your team has shown you It's like, do you want to go to the abundance side? Like grow to grow. Or do you want to stay, like her word was stagnant, stay where you are for no change, or grow yourself? And that's all about, again, like, it's about trusting and like not only in your team, but trusting in yourself that you are quite able to do it and move forward.
Yeah. Like, so one thing that I don't know about your clients, but in it, because I think it resonates with me so much, is when I was kind of doing this work, like kind of delving deep into things about scarcity and abundance, is I had a fear of success,
Oh,
you
well,
know? And it's a common theme. It's not so much that scared of failure. It's a scared of success because a lot of times success really pushes you outside of your comfort zone and your growth because you don't know what's going to happen. You don't know, you know.
it's true. Well, even for me, like retirement, like, so, like you're nervous because how busy am I going to be? Am I going to retire, or am I going to do this till I can't anymore? And I mean, I love doing this, so I probably will be doing this. And I kind of know that I'll be doing this until I can't anymore,
Right.
you know? So I trust that they're
Uh,
just going to keep me as busy as they want me or as I want to be.
Yes. And so that's where setting intention comes into play as well. You
Yeah.
know, so like I'm a big believer in vision boards, affirmations. Like I view goal setting as here's my outcome. It's almost reverse engineering. Here's my outcome. This is where I'm at. Now show me the steps that I'm going to get. And then here's the thing. Steps are not linear. They will take you, and that's why a lot of my courses will say journey, because that's what it is. It's a journey.
Isn't that the truth? Like, I mean, like when I started learning way more about this, like I did it just for me. I had no attention being where I am today. Like, absolutely zero. But I'll tell you, your team knows how to push you to get you out of your comfort zone and move forward and trust the abundances. And there's so many different type of abundances. Like, I know we automatically go for financial, but there's personal abundances for your own growth, right? There's this is in your relationships, and it can be, again, personal, it can be in career. Like, you have to let yourself, like Rhonda said, out of the box. We're safe, and your ego likes to keep you safe in the box. So what we are saying is, when you watch your signs, it's a big thing. Like, sorry, I get, we're talking, and then all of a sudden things I'm told, you get these messages, and I stop, and I'm going, okay, so I'm I'm not that bad for talking. It's just because things happen, and then they reminded me, you need to remember your signs, because they're very big about showing you signs of where they would like you to go. Repetition, repetition. So trust. And also they're telling me that, there's a word about stop limiting yourself. Okay. This is a big thing of example. I would like to make, let's say 75,000 this year. I'll be happy with 75,000. Well, why can't you be ecstatic about 500,000? Because if you reach 75, you're saying, I'm happy with that. I don't need any more. But wouldn't you be happier to receive more? And once you limit yourself, and I'll tell you, for myself and my husband, like, we have always made it quite clear that I put it out there that we don't need to be rich as long as we're comfortable and our kids do well and healthy. And you know what? That's how we are. We're not massively rich? Because I asked that. And I understand that it was my intention that I put out there that that's how we are. And I'm not complaining because we're happy. But what if I would have said, you know what, we would like to have be really rich and be able to travel the world now that if we retire, and not, so I'm just saying, watch what you put out there, and I'm happy with what we have. So let's make that clear. I'm not complaining at all, but just it's okay to ask for more without guilt because we feel so guilty asking for more, and it's okay. And if you're looking for a partner, what they're showing me is paper and a pen. Write down all your what you would like in a partner and be clear. And once you know what you would like, then you can put it out there. Ask that I would like. And actually, I'm going to correct that. I am big on when you ask for something, ask that you've already received it. So,
Yes.
if you want a partner, like whatever you want, okay, I'd like to make 500,000 in the next year. Thank you so much for then I would ask, I'd say, team, I'm so grateful for this money, this 500,000 I made this past year. Thank you. You ask for it like you've already received it. Because remember when you say, I would like to make 5,000 or 100,000 tomorrow, guess what? Tomorrow is always tomorrow. Is always tomorrow when you ask that way. So ask for it now or that you've already received it. Okay?
Yeah. And that's the purpose of the vision board is receiving it because it's the feeling that you get that you have it now. Because our brain, kind of going back to brain, your brain can't tell whether it's moment that you're in the present. Like
Yeah.
it likes being in the present. So like an exercise, if you're driving or living a heavy episode, do not do this now. But when you close your eyes, go to your happiest place. What's your feeling on that right now? When I close my eyes and I am sitting on a rock in Newfoundland in Middle Cove, and all of a sudden I see this massive humpback whale coming out of the water.
That's the greatest. That's
Yeah,
the greatest safe space.
yeah. And I experienced that in real life, and that brought me so much joy and peace that I go there on an instant when I'm feeling down. And I have those feelings because it's not so much because I still see it, I still feel it, I can still smell the salt water
Oh,
from
see,
it.
that's perfect. That's how it can bring you joy, right?
Yeah,
See,
you
my
know,
my spot is in like because we have land is in our backyard by my fire pit and just sitting there listening to the sounds of the day, but a lot of times I'll sit at night and I'll just listen with the fire, and sometimes everybody's gone to bed but me. And maybe I'll
mhm.
just sit out there in my blanket and the fire and I'll watch a movie, but it's my downtime, right? It's your relaxing time, it's your sacred space time.
Yeah. So process, like I said, for myself, because for myself, I had to learn how to become an abundant mindset because I was very much in scarcity. And I would say this is kind of the core where to start. And even if you are an abundant mindset, is start with gratitude. Do your gratitude lists.
Yeah, I agree 100% on that one. Yep.
Yeah. And then it's amazing how things will start to expand. I was listening to, oh, what's his name all of a sudden? Joe Vitale. And he was at the time, and he's now Dr. Joe Vitale, but he was homeless. He tells the story. He was homeless in Texas. I forget what city, but he was like, "What's this gratitude stuff?" Right? And he found a pencil, and he's going, "Okay, I'm grateful for this pencil." Then he found, I don't know, a scrap piece of paper. And then he started, it's like, okay, I'm gratitude for this. Well, he said by doing that gratitude list, he, with just a simple idea, thought, he went back to school and now he's a doctor and he teaches like the law of attraction, bringing things in. But he said it all started with a pencil and him just being in such a scarcity mindset that he was so low, he said, that he knew he needed to change his mindset thinking, and he started looking for possibilities, and now he's one of the forefront thought leaders on law of attraction.
Well, it's like I'm gratitude. I woke up today. I opened my eyes and I can see I'm in gratitude. I had a shower. I got ready for work. Like whatever, it's just the little things, that to be grateful for. Maybe it's just you got a roof over your head. Doesn't necessarily mean what it is, but it's just if you have a roof over your head to keep you out of the elements. Like it's just being for grateful for where you are today so that it will expand to it'll just expand.
Yeah. And even being grateful for your hardships, because you know what? The hardships are based in what can we bring of service to the world. If we don't have hardships, we need to have that point of perseverance or resilience, learn to pivot when we need to. And it's part of you, doesn't mean we have to live in that story, but it's part of your story because change often comes really from the hardships.
And when like I have quite a few clients that are First Nations, and some of the ones that are older that have been through quite a bit of hardship, and their teams are telling them that your hardships are a way to teach the younger generation to learn from the mistakes that were made. So, and it's almost, and I almost everyone that I have had done a reading for, their teams are telling them you need to share your stories so that people learn from your experiences. And they're told either write a book or you're a teacher, and they're arguing saying I've got nothing to say, I'm not a teacher, I've got nothing to contribute. But and they all tell them that your stories of your experiences are worth sharing, are worth writing down, are worth teaching to the younger generations so that we all learn from mistakes.
And really that's the purpose of our podcast, is sharing our experiences with the divine and how we use them with, and hopefully it'll give you some inspiration or something to call upon them and to help your team to guide you where you need to be. And a connection is through stories, a connection is through experiences. Sometimes I had a teacher that said that we don't, it is important to share hardships and stories. Doesn't mean you necessarily have to live through the hardships. Sometimes just hearing those stories will be like, I don't want to take that route. I'm going to go this route,
Yes.
you
And it
know?
isn't just First Nations. I mean, there is
Oh,
other cultures that have been suppressed and went through tragedies, and that they have stories to tell too and share. And I mean, how else we as a society, we as mankind learns from mistakes that have happened years ago, centuries ago. It just doesn't matter. That's why they're important for us to learn about them so that we don't repeat.
exactly. Anything like new adventures or anything, I always come with the mindset of abundant mindset. What opportunity is this going to bring? What positive outcome is this going to happen for me? And even in, I want to say, that's why I don't really believe in necessarily in negative things happening to you. It is designed, it may feel like it's negative, but there's a design for it to move positive. I've kind of touched on this before. I got COVID-19 really bad. I was in the hospital, but it was the best thing that happened to me because it forced me. I knew I needed to make a change, but I was so scared to make a change. But I'm like, life is too short because the doctors didn't expect I was going to make it to the next day. But I thought, wow, this is a real wake up call for me to stop living in fear and moving through it. It's like that wall, like you just got to break through it, even if it's a small, like it doesn't have to be massive or huge, even just a small change will make a big difference. But knowing you're out, focusing on your outcome that you want to achieve, those what may feel like setbacks or negative thoughts, they're you push those aside because they're there to teach you a lesson as well.
They sure are. But just remember, like, just to pay attention, like, because you stay one way, you want to change. So you've got to be ready for the abundances that will, that will come your way if you let them.
And if you're interested in how the angels communicate with you, we do have a podcast on signs. I believe it's in our first or second or third episode. So if you go back to, I believe it's the third,
Yeah, I think so. I think so.
fourth. I
Is
just
it?
heard fourth.
Oh, did ya? So, yeah,
Yeah,
it is the fourth. Yep, you're
yeah,
right. And the numbers are the fifth.
yeah.
So
So if you,
yeah. So I hope you learn to keep yourself in an abundance without guilt mindset and
yep.
always in gratitude.
Thanks everybody. Have a great week. Thank you for listening to Divine Dialogues, Intuitives Unveiled. If you would like to work with Tracey and Rhonda, our information is posted in the show notes.
Now, our new episodes are going to fall on Tuesdays. So if you're interested in receiving a free meditation on connecting to your guardian angels, click that link below to subscribe to the Angel Empowerment Wellness Center newsletter. Thanks for joining us.
Take care, everybody.